right, so here is what we typically do for our in-season warm-up. It's a little more abbreviated than our off-season warm-up. In our off-season warm-up, we focus a little bit more on some of our techniques, and there's a little bit more of a stretching aspect to it. Our in-season warm-up, we're just kind of trying to get in and get out, get the body moving, and get the blood flowing a little bit. So we'll typically start off with a half-speed jog, and then we go through a short skipping progression. We do a 3/4 speed run, and we do some lateral work, and then we do a full speed run, and then we go into some stretch walk, lunge work, some inchworms, stuff like that. So to start off, we just go half speed. We typically will do it on the basketball court. If we're out on the field, we go about 15 yards accelerating and 15 yards decelerating. A typical basketball court is about 30 yards from baseline to baseline, with the halfway point being 15 yards. So that's kind of how we break down the distances that we're going. So again, with our half speed, 3/4 speed, and full speed, we accelerate through mid-court or to the 15-yard line, and then decelerate through the back half. When we're decelerating, we focus on being light on our feet. We don't want to chatter down and stomp. We want to stay nice and light. So for example, half speed, nice and easy. And then we would just do the same thing for our 3/4 speed and our full speed. Accelerating through half, decelerating light on our feet through the back half. After we do our half speed, we go into our skipping progression. We start off with A skips. In the off season, we've got A skips, B skips, C skips, D skips, E skips, VMAX skips, backward skips. We've got a whole slew of skips we do. When we go in season, we keep it really short. We just do A and B skips. Occasionally on our recovery day, Saturday, day after a workout, or day after a football game, our workout, we do some VMAX skips. Those are essentially just skips for height as you're going. But in season, we keep it really basic, just A and B skips. A skips, you're focusing on how quickly you can drive your feet into the ground and back up, staying on the balls of your feet or up on your toes. As you work your way all the way down the court. We do all of our skipping progressions for 30 yards. The only ones that we're kind of splitting halfway would be some of our stretch walk stuff, and then obviously the half speed, 3/4 speed, and full speed. So A skip again, nice and quick and short. So we go that 30 yards all the way down. Coming back, we'll do B skips. B skips, we bring our knee up, flex out, and paw down at the ground. What we're doing with our skipping progression is we're trying to work on our running form, our sprint mechanics. So driving that foot up off the ground, and then up, reaching out, extending, and pawing back through. So those are kind of our two skips we do in season. Like I said, we keep it nice and short. Typically, our warm-up will take about 5 minutes in season. Out of season, we spend a little more time, so it'll be about 10 to 15 minutes out of season. So after we've done our half speed and our skipping progression, then we do our 3/4 speed, and then we do our lateral work. So our lateral work, we'll typically start off with a lateral skip. And that's essentially just skipping laterally. Very similar to the A skip in that we are firing off of our toes nice and explosively. The only difference is instead of moving forward, we're moving laterally. I like to change it up with the lateral skip sometimes. I will throw in a lateral skip and scoop. So you'll do 1, 2, 3, 4, drop into a squat, and scoop through. I like that when it starts to work on opening up your hips and your range of motion, and getting you kind of warmed up, especially if we've got squats we're doing on a day. I always like to do the lateral skip and scoop. When we're doing the lateral skip and scoop, we'll flip halfway so that we hit the whole 30 yards, but we're hitting both sides as well. So we're going to the right, flip halfway, and go to the left. After our lateral skips, we will do either regular karaoke or a high step karaoke. So regular karaoke, you're just working flipping your hips back and forth, and you're working on crossing your feet over and then behind. With the high step karaoke, we're working on driving our knee up and over and crossing over as we go. There should be a little bit of a jump in it even, so it's just like that. The regular and high step karaoke, we will go the full 30 yards to the right, and then coming back the full 30 yards to the left. After our lateral work, we'll do our full speed progression. So accelerating through mid-court up to full speed. You should hit full speed at the mid-court line or the 15-yard line. And then you decelerate nice and gently down to the far baseline. No stomping your feet, nice and light on your toes. After our full speed, we will get into a quad stretch walk. Opposite hand, opposite foot. Pull your foot up behind you, reach up to the sky, pause for 2 seconds, and then take a step or two, reach up, take a step, reach up, pull your leg up behind you. We'll do the quad stretch to mid-court, and then the rest of the way, we will do a knee hug, or we will do a knee hug to lunge, depending on what day it is. I like to switch those up a little bit. So a quad stretch to mid-court, and a knee hug or a knee hug to lunge the rest of the way. Then the last one on the way back, I alternate days. So on Mondays, I will go forward lunge to a backwards lunge. And then on like Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Saturdays, I like to do the inchworm to a Spider-Man crawl because it's more of a full body stretch. Again, Mondays and Wednesdays, we'll just do the forward to backwards lunge. So the forward lunge, we call it forward lunge with a rotation. So you're lunging forward, and then you're rotating each way, and then you're back up. Backwards lunge with overhead reach. So we do a backwards lunge, reaching overhead, opposite hand to opposite heel, and then back up. Inchworm, we take it nice and slow. So we go walking it out, hips to the floor, flex your back, eyes to the ceiling, give it a pause and get a stretch,
Bring your hips back up and walk your feet up to your hands.
And then repeat. We do that with, so we'll go 15, or it's a mid-court with the inchworm. And then in the back half, we will do our Spider-Man crawl. So Spider-Man crawl, foot to hand, elbow to heel, and then crawl through, and same thing on the other side. And we will just crawl for the remaining 15 yards in the Spider-Man crawl. Like I said, in our off season, then after that, we'll get into some more stretching, some hip mobility stuff, some shoulder strengthening and mobility stuff, but in season, we keep it really short, get in and get out, and get